Hi, and welcome to TTELT, Teaching Tips for English Language Teachers, a program of educators worldwide. I'm your host today, Melanie Gobert. Hello, everyone. This is Melanie Gobert, your host for today's episode of TTELT, Teaching Tips for English Language Teachers podcast, a program of educators worldwide. Joining us today is Maria Zaheer, the founder of educational WebinarJam, a senior fellow in higher education, SFHEA, and a PhD candidate. She has received awards for distinguished teaching, research, and workshops. Her research interests include action research, digital teaching, and innovative learning. Today, she's going to talk to us about teacher-to-teacher collaboration, an epitome of professional development for educators. Thank you for joining us, Maria.
Thank you, Melanie. It's my honor to join you today.
So, what is teacher-to-teacher collaboration?
So we all know about collaboration, and we as ELT teachers talk about collaboration among students, but there are very few examples of teacher-to-teacher collaboration in the sense of professional development. So where, like-minded people or teachers of the same group of the like interest sit together and in an informal setting and work for a same course or same project, working to develop the course or develop their skills to notch up their teaching in an informal setting.
Okay, so how did you develop this research?
So it was one of my action research that I did as an ESP coordinator at a private university here at Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where I noticed that the course and the skills of the teachers need to be developed to have an excellent outcome of teaching and learning in that area. So we all were very busy in doing their own bits and pieces. So there were not any needs related professional development sessions that we could book ourselves in and develop the skills exactly what we need in a very short time. So I thought of this teacher-to-teacher collaboration. There have been lots of talk and there's lots of about research, but none of them had ever said how to do it. There's always lots of researchers have said it's good, it develops collaboration, it develops the skills. But there was no research design or way how that collaboration actually takes place. So what I did, we had once a week informal setting in a classroom, I call it that lab classroom, where we sat together and just for 15 or 20 minutes each per teacher shared an activity that was successful and engaging and interacting for the students. So what happened is, as soon as we finished that session, if we had a class next day, we were able to recycle that activity right away. So it was like spontaneous help to the need we needed there. It was a spontaneous amp to the course. The teachers were happy that they were not, there was no micro teaching or there was no observations kind of sort. So it was very informal setting. Everybody was very relaxed and they were learning with each other. So it was very fun and interactive way to do it. And yet we had that professional development we needed in a very short span of time. And it went on for around 6 semesters, that is 3 academic years. And every year we had a survey at the end to gauge the effectiveness of teacher-to-teacher collaboration. It is really effective. The students really finding it effective. Is the teaching changed? So it really did. It really made a big difference. And because it was just, the requirement we needed, it was just tailor-made for us, tailor-made for that group of cohorts that needed that professional development. So, and on the other hand, we were developing resources to use on. So we didn't have to waste a lot of time sitting online, thinking about what to do, how to do, because it was an ESP course, English for Specific Purposes. And there were 5 related courses to it, like science and math, and there were architecture and things like that. So, you know, we had specific jargon to learn about, specific jargon to teach. So it helped so much that we said, oh, wow, why didn't I think about it? Even the teachers who had 20 plus years of experience had eye openers in that lab classroom, so to speak. And it went really successful. It really helped. So I thought, why not we just run about different professional development workshops or seminars, and even conferences. But this informal setting took a new, view towards professional development. It became an excellent example of developing the skills in a very short time.
Okay, so just let me ask you, this teacher to teacher collaboration, it was not English teacher to English teacher, it was English teacher to program teacher.
No, they were all so the medium of instruction is here all in English. And we were teaching all the students in English as well, but it was ESP, so it was very jargon specific, vocabulary specific course. But it had to be very, it was just once a week, and end of the week, last class, how the motivation dies from there. Teachers are tired, students are tired. So the aim was to develop a very interactive, student-centered approach towards that course, rather having a dense lecture-based or traditional classroom setting as it was. So it helps so much in that way that the teachers, all the activities, I think they all have the same impact if they're just used in a right way. So all of us have very good ideas. Sometimes how to deliver it becomes difficult. So even the new teachers who do the course were reluctant. Oh, I don't know, I haven't taught ESP before. But, this approach eased them out as well. They say, oh, okay, so I can use the same activity I used in my English class. I could use it for my ESP course as well. And it came out with the excellent outcome similarly. So it worked wonders in both ways.
Okay, but just to be clear, so this was different English teachers teaching the same course for collaborating.
Yes,
not exactly. Collaborating with people from other departments who were like the content.
No. So yes, so this course was run under preparatory year program. Yes. And we as preparatory year teachers were teaching this ESP course once a week, every course, every semester.
Teacher to teacher collaboration, is really important, and it can be very effective.
Yes.
So what was the conclusion of your research?
It, to my surprise, was very, I thought, being an ESP coordinator, I thought maybe I am forcing them to this, maybe they're not comfortable with this, but believe me, they were very comfortable. They wanted to have more sessions like this. They thought it just met the need they wanted to, focus on. And in a very short time, I had a G drive created for them to develop the resources and share the resources there. So they were able to recycle those resources straight away. So it was resource development, it was development of skills, the students felt the difference right away. They felt the engagement there, the teachers felt that learning was getting better, the learning outcomes turned out. So it was a holistic outcome. So from resources to teaching and learning, everything amped up in a very short time, and repeating it over the next semesters. So each time the teachers also changed. It's not necessarily the same cohort stayed for the next academic year. So the newcomers as well had the resource to stand on. There was some standing there. They had a springboard to start that course. And it helped a lot. So it really went out to be very successful.
So, basically it was a longitudinal study because it took place over 3 years.
Yes.
So did you have a lot of new teachers and old teachers coming and going during this time, or was it pretty much?
Yeah, mostly the old group remains the same. Just 2 or 3 used to get replaced. So there were around 15 teachers, and maybe 2 or 3, it happens. the change of jobs or change of courses or whatever, it changes at the institution, depends. But most of the cohorts remained the same. So it was interesting that even the previous one didn't feel the need that, oh, we don't want it anymore. We had enough professional development. We have developed enough skills. We don't want it anymore. So they felt engaged. Just like before, they wanted to continue having this teacher-to-teacher collaboration because it was very informal. We were enjoying ourselves. We were learning likewise as well. And we were developing even small things like using a learning app, like mobile assisted language learning app. So Quizlet or anything. So we were learning from each other. There are different things that keep on developing with these learning apps that many teachers don't know. They think like Quizlet is just enough for having a vocabulary list there. Well, there's Quizlet Live, and there is lots of other engaging games, that Asteroid game and any others. So some teachers knew how to create a Quizlet, but they didn't know the other, features that could amp up the teaching that way. So that helped. So each year, each semester, we had a ladder to climb up for the professional development. So it got better and better. I learned a lot. I cannot, anything, so many other apps, Peer Deck, you can name it, and ThinkLink. There were so many creative things that teachers were using that were hidden inside their classroom walls. And you can't just kind of observe every class at one time, but when they started sharing, so it, we were in awe all the time. So wow, I didn't know that before. We could do that, and it was user-friendly as well. And it's free as well. That's what we teachers want. And and the ultimate goal was to have it interactive, motivated the students, engagement became better, and things like that. So I think it really went well. And the anonymous, the survey at the end kept on gauging the effectiveness, kept on giving me the encouragement to continue doing it, that they really felt, yes, we still need to do it. Went well that way.
Okay, it sounds like a great project. I'd like to thank you very much on behalf of Educators Worldwide for joining us on today's TTELT, Teaching Tips for English Language Teachers, a program of Educators Worldwide. This has been your host, Melanie Gobert. Thank you so much for joining us, Maria.
Thank you, Melanie. I hope my ideas will help the teachers think in a different way about professional development.
I'm sure they will.
Thank you for joining us today. Share with us how you are using these tips. Leave us a comment or voice message on social media or at ttelt.org. Thanks for joining this episode of TTELT, brought to you by Educators Worldwide. Follow, like, and subscribe to TTELT on your social media, and try a new teaching tip today.